Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Peach State Power Hour, a special Peach State Power Hour presented by M. Jones Heating and Cooling. This is our Christmas special. You see with the Christmas sweaters here, mine's lighting up right there. You got Merry Christmas from Eddie.
Paul wins.
Yeah, Paul wins. I got Rudolph, though, so he can get, or maybe mine's not Rudolph. Okay, maybe I'm blitzing. I don't know. So.
Either way, it's all right. Glad to have you guys here with us. This will be our last show of the year, I think. I think so. Yeah, I don't think we're doing one next week. We'll see. Maybe.
We could preview the game, right?
We'll see. we could. But glad you're here with us, guys, for another crazy Sunday edition. We're going to have Ben Bachman join us probably in about 15 minutes. So he will be here with us as well, talk some Georgia basketball. But we want to get through a little bit of football first, and also our Christmas presents that we give out to each other each and every year. And they're pretty raunchy this year, I will say that. So Marshmut, good evening to you, my friend. Scott Anderson's in the building. Jermaine King's always around. Mountain Man's here. We got Marshmut says Andy wins.
Right there. Yeah. I even have bells on, dude. So
ass kisser. I mean, come on.
Andy, how was your weekend, my friend?
It was good. Just watched football. It was great. No stress football. It was just watched Friday night, which is really cool. Seeing
no stress football, but it also was very crappy football, which we'll get into.
It was. We didn't see many competitive games, but it's that Ohio State team looked really good yesterday, so we can talk about them. But yeah, good weekend. So
Eduardo, what saith thee on this night?
I got three quick things, Paul. Go ahead and roll your eyes. So I thought about starting the show without a shirt on.
Oh, God.
Just like the Tennessee players did before the game, right? How'd that work out for 42-17? You know what that reminded me of? Y'all remember back in 2015 when Rick came out against Bama at home and they started running their mouth, causing fights, and Bama didn't say a dang word, and they beat our ass. Yeah. I knew the second they came out like that, that game was over. Heupel is a clown, and Kirby would never in a million years do that. Two, I looked this up. The NFL wild card results from last year, okay? Tampa beat Philly 32-9. Green Bay beat Dallas 48-32. KC beat Miami 26-7. Buffalo beat Pitt 31-17, and Houston beat Cleveland 45-14. Was there any screaming about we need to get rid of the wild card and just have 4 teams in the NFL playoffs? Was that said?
Oh, touche, Edward. Touche.
Yeah. Was that ever said? Lastly, this is it. This is it for me, Paul.
Thank God.
Come on. Ricky Henderson died yesterday.
Yeah. Wow, okay? I feel like an asshole now.
Hero of my youth watching that guy. And I'm telling you, there will be he set records that will never be broken. He did it 3 times, 100 stolen bases. Just think about that for a second. We were all going crazy when Acuna hit 50 for the year. 100 stolen bases 3 times, guys. Unbelievable guy. He was awesome to watch play baseball.
Yeah, that'll never happen again.
Never.
No. Yeah, shout out to Ricky Henderson. That was tragic to hear him go. Kind of so early too. He's only 65.
65.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I will say, guys, we've got some notes here that do cover Georgia football. We'll cover it fairly fast because we do want to talk about UGA basketball for a good portion of the show, and then bring Ben on as well to talk about that with us and wrap the show up with some GHSA as the championships. Yeah, those were fun. Those were fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Now some of those games are really close.
Yeah, very fun to watch.
That North Oconee Maris game, that was a heck of a football game.
That may have been the best game, even though it was slow scoring. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Milton, boy. Milton's
now don't they I know we're going to get to that, but don't they get to play again like in a national type of thing
if they become the final 2, which they were second? I don't know how they would drop. Right,
is that how it works?
But yeah, I think it's the final 2 that are in that whatever, I think Maps Preps or whatever ranking it is, they take those 2
I hope they do. That is cool.
So the team Georgia will be facing off against in these here playoffs. Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17 in the first round of the playoffs to set up the Sugar Bowl versus January on UJ Sports. We'll have it here, but on January 1st at 8:45 p.m. Notre Dame, guys, dominated.
It wasn't 27-17. That was just
the scorer. And here's the problem with Indiana. When they were actually passing the ball, guys, they look like a decent team. I don't know they were doing. They got to, what was it? I don't really remember the score. Was it 17-3 or 20, something like that? They got to the 50-yard line, and then they decided to punt it in the second half. It's like, what are we doing, guys?
Remember Signetti kicks everybody's ass. That's what he said, right?
And look, I like that. I like that, coach. I like that.
Well, back it up.
There's a difference in which Kirby would never run his mouth like that, but Kirby's got 2 rings. So if he did say something, you'd be like, okay, I get it. But Signetti has nothing. I know he's been successful in some of the lower ranks, but yeah, he ate some humble pie this weekend.
Yeah, he did. Marshmutt says, is Notre Dame's quarterback better than King from Tech? I think so.
You do?
Okay. Riley Leonard. Yeah, Riley Leonard. I think he's pretty good, man. I think he's pretty good.
You think he's better than he's better than Haynes King?
I don't know. That RPO Haynes King's pretty good at it. I don't know that Riley Leonard's better at it.
Garrett Key says our friend Barrett Slee had a good description of Notre Dame. Quote, they're the best boring team in the country. All right, guys. So now everybody's watched that opponent. That was great. Like Andy said, this weekend was full of sitting around and scouting and having fun and not having to worry about Georgia playing this weekend. Now that we know it's Notre Dame, which we kind of thought it was going to be, didn't we all? But we all agreed last show that to switch to Illinois.
We did switch it because it was everyone was on Notre Dame. So we were like,
I blame Andy for that. Andy brought that up. So.
I did.
But I was on the fence, so we went with it. We scared of Notre Dame, boys?
I'm not scared of Notre Dame. They look good.
But here's the thing with that though, Andy. You also said Georgia was going, 17-0 this season. I
did say that. I did say that. That is true. But and there's no way we could have known that Beck would struggle this year. So I mean, after just basing it off of what we saw last year from Carson Beck, we thought they were going to light it up. But no, their defense did hold the Hoosiers to 278 yards and of total offense. That's strong. I give them that. But they're not going to push us around. Our offensive line's not going to get pushed around like they did. And thanks, Garrett. I do have the biggest red and black glasses. But, yeah, I just don't think we're going to get pushed around. And I think that's where the difference is. We're going to win the lines of scrimmage, whereas Indiana couldn't do it. Like, they just didn't have anything for them. And we're going to be able to do more running. We're not going to go, what did they get, 50 yards running or whatever. They couldn't run the ball at all. So, no, I'm not scared of Notre Dame. Eddie, what are you? Did you see anything that makes you scared that they're going to handle us?
No.
Really?
I mean, Paul, I'm sorry. It's the lines of scrimmage. Andy's right. I mean, if Georgia comes out and plays with their hair on fire like they did against Texas in the games that mattered, right? The 2 Texas games were huge. You can look at all the other stuff, but this is a playoff game in New Orleans. Kirby's got 2 weeks to prepare. 2 weeks. Okay.
But they've had this past week to prepare themselves.
They did. And he said they looked at both teams. So they prepared somewhat then as well.
Oh, yeah.
I am certainly not going to sit here and predict a blowout because I've been burned too many times with this team doing that. But Georgia's going to win this football game. They are going to push around Notre Dame. Okay. And you're worried about Riley Leonard, Paul. I disagree with you. I think Haynes King is much better at that RPO with the guys running across your face, the way he reads that stuff. I don't think Riley Leonard is good at that. And y'all can discount this all you want and say, well, the game was not as close as it really was. That game was 10 points, and Indiana is garbage.
They made a comeback, but they
were garbage. And one more thing, Paul, I'm 100% with you. Why are you not throwing the ball against Notre Dame? It was run. I was like, what are you doing, Indiana? Throw the ball downfield a couple of times, take some shots. They did none of that, it seemed like. They just kept handing it off to the teeth of that defense, and that's where Notre Dame's good, is right there up front, and they just fed right into that. It didn't make any sense to me.
It looked like to me that the stage was too big for Indiana. It looked like they
might be right.
They just kind of turtled up because they seemed to be a better team than what they showed the other night. But I will say this. Jeremiah Love, he rushed for 8 times for 108 yards and a touchdown, but he had 98 yards on one play.
97 over
so that's the thing. You take that away, and you can't take it away. He did it, no question. He did do that, but outside of that one, he only had 10 yards on his other 7 carries. So, are we going to give up a 98 yard? Maybe, but if they can only rush for 193 yards and half of that comes from one play, I'm not too concerned about their running game. So, because Riley only had 30. Riley only had 30 yards on 11 carries. Is our defense better than Indiana? Way better than Indiana. So yeah. So
yeah, it
Now
the line.
I'll go back to you, Paul. You're scared of this game. You have said it all along. So let's hear it.
No, I think there's a right to be scared though. The line opened. Notre Dame was favored. Vegas doesn't build those buildings by miscalculating a line. Yes, it moved to Georgia now -1, but I mean there's a chance this game is close. Like it's not I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I really don't. I don't see that. Now, if they were to play Indiana, yeah, sure. I think it's probably a blowout. But Notre Dame's a good football team.
They are.
That Love kid is good. Riley Leonard's good. They're sound. What this comes down to, though, for me, is Kirby versus Marcus Freeman, and I think Kirby is the top dog. So he'll find a way to get it done. But this is going to be a tough game. Like it's not going to be one of those where. And here's the other thing, guys, and I don't mean to knock on Gunnar Stockton, right? But we haven't seen him play a full game.
We've seen him play a half a game, and how many three passes the rest of the year, 8 passes for the rest of something.
Against Tennessee Tech, we haven't seen, and I'm not saying that he's not going to be great. I'm not going that route, but there's also a possibility where, and there is a world you have to think about this and look at it from just a open view. There's a world where he looks like that Jennings kid from SMU.
Yeah.
There is a
please for the love of God, don't look like that.
But what I'm saying, there's a world out there.
You're right.
That looks like that. So you have to be just cognizant of that. And I think with enough time, right, Bobo can get this thing kind of moving with Gunnar. But you don't have Carson Beck. And I think folks just hate on Carson Beck for kind of the middle of the season woes that he went through. But he was playing really good football when he got hurt.
He was playing really good.
And, it's one of those things where you are starting a backup quarterback that had a chance at one point to beat out Carson Beck, and he didn't. And he's younger than him, right? Sure. But there was an open competition, and Beck took the job. So that's all I'm going up against. It's just going to be it's an unknown with Gunnar at quarterback, and to say that like Georgia's going to win by 15 points, I just feel like that's kind of crazy talk. So and Eddie, you're shaking your head and agreeing with me. So if you don't think they're going to win by 15 points, then there is a chance that Notre Dame could win this game.
Yeah. Here's the scary scenario right here. You just kind of hit on it, Paul. Notre Dame scores and goes up 17-13 with 1:20 left. We have to have a touchdown to win the game.
Can he do it?
That's where Carson Beck time took over, right? We don't know. I mean, that's a great point, and he might very well be able to do it.
It's not saying that we don't think he can. He very well could.
Yeah, we saw him do it in Texas. I mean, he went down, maybe got knocked out, and tore his knee.
We also saw that pick, which was brutal.
We did. It was terrible. It was a terrible play. But he feels like he's a gamer. Like I've always since he's been here, they talked about him kind of being more of a gamer, better in practice. I think again, if he doesn't throw the brutal picks like that, let's be honest, we were winning games with 3 or 4 interceptions all year long. So
true.
What if he throws one interception? Okay, all right. Let's. Is Texas or is Notre Dame a better football team?
Texas.
Texas. We beat Texas with 3 interceptions in Texas. They're coming to New Orleans, and it's going to be 70-30, 80-20 Georgia. I mean, let's be honest. I know they're going to travel well, but it's going to be a home game for us. If we don't have the huge mistakes over and over, Georgia will win that game, and I think we win by double digits.
Well, I also think there's a comfort factor there. I don't even care about the crowd if it's 50-50. Georgia and their coach have been in this situation, and the players several times. They know how to –
except for the quarterback.
Except for the quarterback. That's exactly
right. He has to a point. I mean, he's been on the team.
Yeah, he's been on the team. He's traveled
prepared. He's probably run whatever scout team. So he's been in those moments too. I understand he's not on the field. I understand that. But the team as a whole, Kirby Smart, I think they're better prepared for this moment than Notre Dame is.
Oh, without question. And Kirby is Kirby. Kirby's got 2 national championships, played in 3 as a head coach, and he's played in 8 or 9 as an assistant coach. I mean, so
Right.
yeah, it's definitely as a 50. I think ESPN has a 55% chance or something, 53.8% chance that Notre Dame wins the game.
Wow.
Kirby, yeah, that's pretty crazy to me. But I think, yes, I know we're missing our starting quarterback, but our offensive line, our defensive line, I think we're going to be able to handle those guys. And it's going to get into the third quarter. We're going to be leaning on those guys. This isn't Indiana's offensive line. We're going to bully ball these guys.
So we're kind of talking about Gunner here a lot. I want to ask you guys a question because this has been bothering me all week. So apparently Carson Beck, well, he's been announced he's not playing in the Sugar Bowl, right? That's about all the information that we have. And the other piece we've gotten of that is that he has not been with the team, right, Paul? He has not been with the team. He's been in Jacksonville, right? Am I wrong about this?
Okay, go ahead.
Does that not bother y'all? It bothers me. Why is the leader, quote unquote, of your team all year up until when he got hurt, not even with the football team? He should be out there helping coach, helping Gunner, etc. If he's still a part of this football team,
different era of football, Eddie.
I don't care. Yeah. I'm tired of hearing about that. He is a part of the Georgia Bulldogs football team who are trying to win a national championship, and he's a part of that. By the way, if we win a national championship, he gets one of those rings, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Why is it doesn't bother y'all? Apparently, whatever. It bothers me.
It's all right, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really heat me up that much, but
y'all suck. I don't really like y'all very much.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but it's different though. Yeah, it is different. I mean, it's a different time. So I understand you're saying quit on the team, and I get it, and so I see what you're saying. But yeah, it's I
mean, he's also, I think, receiving treatment and stuff like that. And Jack, it's not so much like he just left and was like, taking my girlfriend, I'm out. Like I
really, do we know that he might be riding around in his Lambo with her? Who knows?
I told you numerous times he doesn't have the Lambo anymore. He's got a Range Rover now.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a Lambo.
Oh, that's such a step down. Yeah, okay.
But what I'm telling you, let's get facts right here. Beyond Creatives in the building. He says Lawson said it best to Gunnar Stockton, quote, "If you trust yourself as much as I trust you, we in great shape."
I like
there
that.
You go.
Yeah.
I like Lawson Lucky. Lawson Lucky doing the same thing like Bowers, Jack Fullerton says. There we go. Got a lot of the older crowd in the comments agreeing with you, Eddie. So yelling at clouds again.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
You guys want to get to these Christmas presents? Then we can bring Ben in. We can talk about the transfer portal and basketball and Falcons and all that stuff.
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right. So this year, we can do a quick recap, right? So last year, I bought Eddie a new set of steroids for the year, and then Andy the Tinder Deluxe.
Yes, it worked out well.
I don't think it has. So,
hey, mine worked out great. Thank you, Paul. Feeling good.
Yeah.
We need to give it to Garrett Key over there in the bar. So.
Yeah. Andy, what did you give out last year?
Oh, I got a poster of you while you were getting posterized in Hartwell.
Yes.
Framed up a poster for you. And for Eddie, I think I got him multiple house cleaners because he has a house that is bigger than basically Acworth. So, yes.
And Eddie, what did you get us last year?
I cannot remember, and I should have looked it up. I have no recollection. I really don't remember.
I don't either. It must have been some shit gifts.
It was good. And I'm sorry. I should have done that. I really can't remember. I don't
remember them.
I'll have to think about it. Yeah.
So this year, I'll go first because I have one of mine pulled up here. The one I had for Eddie, I just don't think is appropriate. So I'm going to have to go to my backup. If you want to hear the true one that I got Eddie, you can slide in my DMs on Twitter and we'll go from there.
Slide in his DMs. You hear that, Andy? Slide in.
But here is mine for Andy this year. Hold on. Actually, let me take
what I got
because I don't know if M. Jones wants us to
have this associated with them.
Yeah, let me take off their logos here for a second. All right. Last year we got Andy the Tinder Deluxe.
Oh, Lord.
It did not work. So this year we're trying something different, boys. We're going to farmersonly.com.
Boom. I like it.
Only.com for Andy. The same concept, but we're going to farmers only. Hopefully, we know he's out there in Royston.
I'm out here.
Maybe some more chicks are on there for you.
A lot of farmland. Look, I can look out my window and see chicken houses right now. So yes.
But I've got you already signed up. You know, they're waiting on you. I'm a man looking for a woman. There you go. We've got you ready. We've got you ready there.
That sounds good. I'll take that.
Cow tipping, right? Tipping preferred.
Plenty of cows. Again, right beside the chicken houses.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why I messed up last year. I got you the Tinder one where the normal chicks were. You need the farmers only.
I'm out here in the country. Yeah. So
that's on me. That's on me.
That's your fault. That's why it didn't work well. Yeah. So great. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Andy, what you got a gift for somebody?
I mean, I could probably, you know what? I'm gonna go to Eddie first, and then I'll come to your. So Eddie is always texting me and Paul and James Caraway and Garrett Key. He's always telling us to eat a bag of something, and I'm not going to say exactly what that is in that bag, but here is a bag, and there's something in here, and it's full of them. So Eddie, this will be coming to you, and you can probably just figure out what's in this bag. So yes, this is full of a bag of something.
When I say that, by the way, the bag I envision is much larger than that for you guys.
I bet it is, Eddie.
Oh yeah, a lot larger.
Well, this is a Walmart size bag, so this is for the family. So you can have. There are plenty in here for you to.
That is awesome.
The family size.
The family size.
That's fantastic. Oh man.
Take it away, Eddie.
All
right, Eddie, you got one?
Let's see if I can do this. I got to share my screen.
Oh yeah, share your screen.
Yeah, let me make sure.
I'll get it pulled up for you, bud.
I can just click the pick and it'll share. You don't have to do anything, do you, Paul?
Yeah, I can take it from there. Just send it up to me.
All right. So Andy, as y'all know,
it's not here, brother. It's not here.
I know. I haven't clicked share yet.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna see it before anybody else?
I won't really look at it. It'll be at the bottom just so I know it's there.
Okay, when I click share, it won't come up for everybody.
Jesus Christ! This is like I'm trying to tell my grandfather how to use the internet.
All right, no, it's not. Don't be an idiot. So anyway, Andy has bobbleheads all behind him, right? So I thought I'd get him a new bobblehead.
Oh God!
And call it the Bobble Ed. And this face,
this
face right here that you see is when Andy gives his stupid comments. There you go. So there's a new bobblehead for you.
Please send me the bobble, Ed. God, I want that. I'm getting that made.
What? What is that?
That's a bobblehead.
I'm getting a bobblehead made. That's perfect.
Yeah, but you had to you put some serious time into that. I love that.
Awesome. Yes, I did. I actually did. I put
that's really good. That was a really good one.
That was real good.
My gift for you, Eddie. Like I said, I had a really good one. I just can't do it. So my backup gift is a golden phone. And this golden phone has all of the phone numbers for every radio station in a 6-hour radius. All you have to do is hit the number and you're immediately on the show because we all know that's all you want to do.
EFA is the legend around the state of Georgia on the radio.
You can listen 960 in the morning. You hear Eddie. You tune to 92.9. There's Eddie. 680. There's Eddie. Bill Shanks. There's Eddie. I'm like, dude, I don't know if he works. So now
I do work, and all those calls are made while I'm in the car getting to and from work.
So there is a golden phone coming your way that has a direct line to every FM and AM station that you can choose. And then also the gift earlier that I told you that I'm not saying on air. So yeah, you get both of them.
I like it. Yeah, he needs that because he's he probably already has that. That's probably something he has.
You know what's sad is I have a speed dial on here for 960 the rep or 680 the fan. I do have that on my phone.
I assumed you had a direct line to call and they would just put you on.
No, I don't have a direct line.
Okay. My gift for Mr. Paul Maharry. So luckily he's given me Tinder and farmersonly.com and all these things. So the one thing so Paul is married, but Paul keeps having kids over and over and over. So apparently he doesn't know how to correct that.
Oh gosh.
Times are getting tough, guys. It's expensive. I mean, we never know how much things are going to cost. So stop having kids. So come Monday morning, Paul, there is a little place called Georgia Urology out there in Brazelton they have you on the schedule to go get
with a discount from Andy.
a discount because
Oh my gosh,
I love it.
that's awesome.
I knew one of you assholes was gonna get me a vasectomy. I knew it was coming. Thank you, Andy.
You need one. You can't seem to figure out why you keep having these kids. So I'm gonna help you out, dog. No more kids coming your way.
I love that. Oh God, I don't know if I want this present from Eddie after seeing what you just got from Eddie.
Okay, so Paul, how old is your oldest kid? I don't know how.
18 months.
18 months. So he's probably not really understanding Christmas yet, right?
Not yet.
Are y'all doing Elf on the Shelf at this point?
No, we're not there yet. Maybe next
year.
year.
That'll be next year. So my gift is a little premature. I thought he was a little bit older. He was starting to get into stuff, but that's okay. So,
well, he'll have another kid soon. Don't worry. It's okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but it's the age thing. He needs to understand what's going on. So my gift to you, Paul, next year, you and Nicole can put Eddie on the shelf, and there you go.
Oh, good God.
And once again, that is the face that you get when Paul makes his ridiculous takes. There you go. And your son can look at that and be freaked out all year.
You are going to scare those kids to death.
Damn right. That is the point.
Oh, man.
That's great. That's excellent. That is excellent. Phyllis from South Lumpkin says, wait, Andy gave a bag of Icks and an appointment for Paul to get his unit to be clipped. Yeah, we know where Andy's head's at.
Yeah.
You don't need to read our text, Phyllis, because they're a little crazy. So.
Oh man. So that's that hopefully that Farmers Only can work for you well, Andy.
I hope so.
I'd like for you to find love.
Yeah, I love myself, so I'm good. So.
Garrett said Eddie's killing the Microsoft Paint. Mountain Man says you boys out of pocket tonight. Nick Mills is laughing. Yeah, we did pretty good there. Eddie Elf on the Shelf viral. Yeah, that.
Oh, I got copies of it, believe me.
Yeah, those are good. I like those a lot.
Oh man. Okay.
All right, back to
how do you go from there?
Andy, did you get the bracket pulled up for our bracket challenge we're in? So the leaderboard.
So here is our bracket.
I see that, but I'm not going to pull. Is that go to our bracket though? The people that are in it for the Peach State are.
Okay, hang on. Let me go to our groups. Oh crap, dude! It screwed me up. Hang on, just give me a minute.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll put it up when you say good. About to bring Ben on. We'll bring him on here after because somebody asked about how our bracket's doing. I totally forgot about that. So I'd like to see who's in the lead over here.
All right, here we go. The Peach State Power Hour. All right, I got it. Yeah, I got it pulled up.
All right, zoom in for me, brother. All right,
I forgot about this too. I hadn't even checked.
Zoom in some more. Look at my Hairy Madness right up there at top, baby.
Right there, number 2.
Didn't miss one at all.
Wow, that's impressive.
Okay, so how many folks did we have join in?
We had a total of 16, so that's good.
Nice.
Well, one person.
How is James at the bottom? What did he pick? Click on that. How do you get? What, he only get 2? He got 1 right.
Yeah, he took Tennessee. He got Penn State. He was the only one that got
Indiana.
He got Texas though.
Okay, so you got 2 right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a tie for first up there. Jermaine King, I see Jermaine's in there. We got G Key. Oh my God, hold on. You see who Garrett Key picked for his champion?
He picked the Ducks. Garrett, dude, kick him out. This is my
Alex Page. Alex Page picked the Ducks.
Man, come on, guys. What's wrong with y'all?
Hell.
Who is Murder Boners?
That is my friend. That's my friend Matt. So
there's a theme. There's a theme in tonight's show.
There's a big theme going on.
Eddie from Acworth pulling in 13. Beyond Creative right there. So we got a lot of fifths right here. So.
Yeah. So anybody's game. And then we had ESPN fan 2030801960 did not change their bracket. So no. I don't know what's going on, Andy. That's 3 references tonight, brother. And
I'm sure there's more to come. We still got 30 minutes. So.
Yeah. Let's get old Choppy Bachman in here.
My God, Paul, I don't know how. I mean, I'll say this, Paul. You may be first in those standings, but those Christmas gifts, you were dead last. Eddie had me almost freaking crapping myself. Like I was eating Papa.
I didn't know Eddie was going into Microsoft.
And The vasectomy is better than whatever the hell you got. A farmer's market? You gave him a pass to a farmer's market?
Yeah.
Farmersonly.com, dude. These girls, man.
No, it's clever. It's clever. I mean, it is good. So
those farmer chicks are hot.
No, but you guys cooked them, Paul. That was atrocious out of you.
I had a good one. I had a really good one.
He does have a good one in the background. You need to.
He has the best one. He has the best one.
Couldn't come out.
Yeah.
So Ben, what's up, buddy?
Paul, you need to actually like grow a set.
We need to keep this channel
in a box. Eddie. Andy must have it in that box. Your set.
Yeah.
Just get it back.
But what's going on, bud?
This weekend was exhilarating football. I mean, that was the best weekend of football I've ever watched in my life. I mean, just incredible football.
So since you're saying that, Ben, what are your thoughts about going forward with the playoffs? Are you one of these who wants to go back to 4 teams and be done with it?
I've always been an adamant of 8. That's all. That's where I always thought the sweet spot was. Now, listen, the blowouts, this is my thinking. Comparing it to the NFL, I get what you're saying, Eddie, and you're right about last year's wild card, but I've seen wild cards win the Super Bowl. I've seen them win. I've seen them win it in baseball. I remember in basketball. Basketball is the one pro sport where there's no parity. There's more parity in college basketball than there is in pro basketball because the NBA is a joke. That's besides the point. But when I look at college, there's not 12 teams in a given year that can win a title. No. At best, there's like 7.
Wait a minute. I'm going to push back on you on that. Right now, I'm going to push back. What if the committee gets us right and puts Alabama, South Carolina, and Miami in instead of the crap teams we saw this weekend? This is a committee issue.
Do I think South Carolina could win a game or two?
Hell yeah, they can.
I don't think any of those teams could win a national title.
That's not the point. You're talking about this weekend being crap games. If the committee gets it right, this weekend would have been phenomenal with those teams in.
I think it would have been better. I agree with you. But then at the same time, the thing is they put themselves in a predicament where it's, do you value the records because the games have to matter, or do you value the strength of the schedule? Who you schedule has to matter. There's no wiggle room, so you have to choose one or the other, and that's the tricky part with them, because then you go, okay, Indiana, you won 11 games, so I don't think it's good enough to be there. So I agree with that, but at the same time, they won 11, Alabama won 9. So then you have to get, and one is in the Big Ten, which is still a top 2 conference. So it gets tricky there when you're evaluating that, where I agree, it would have been better to have Bama and South Carolina in, but then you're basically telling these teams you can't get in. But I'm also of the mindset, those teams, SMU and Indiana, can't win a championship unless they're undefeated. I would not put those teams in there unless they're undefeated to a point where they're like, there's zero justification. But that was pretty awful. There's a sweet spot. That's just my opinion, because I look at last year, Georgia as I think the 5 or the 6 could have won the title. A 1-loss, Ohio State was the 7. They could have won the title. And then FSU was undefeated and got literally bounced from the playoffs. And then you could have thrown another team in there. All 8 of those teams could have been competitive in a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think once you get 9 through 12, I think for the most part, they're never going to win a title. Is my
8 may be the sweet spot.
I agree with you. It would have been
guess
better.
What, Ben? Yeah, but guess what, Ben? After next year, it's going to 16. It's not going back to 8. It's not doing that.
It's going to 16. Yeah, that's happening.
Ending to 16. That's
it's a done deal. Yeah, that's a done deal. And it's just
doing it. My chair is falling apart, boys, as we're doing this show. I can't bend back anymore. This is getting out of hand.
You're about to flip over. But yeah, it is going to 16. But there are not 16 teams that are good enough. There's not 10 teams that are good enough to win the national championship. So, but it's going to.
But I will add this one thing, because you guys are talking about Georgia football. I will add this quick point. Because you were talking, I think Eddie talked about Gunnar Stockton's pick and stuff like that earlier. Did you guys notice anything during that play about that interception that Gunnar threw, or about any of his bad plays? There was a common denominator. It was all against the blitz. Every bad play Gunnar had, anytime he wasn't blitzed, he made a play every single time. Mm-hmm. And you know what I noticed? So I was in the office, I know Andy knows this, which was Bally, but now it's FanDuel Sports Network. So when you guys watch the Braves, I work as in digital operations. So I was at my office there watching the game with some other people who aren't into Georgia at all. And I remember when the running back during that SEC championship game spread out, and I'm like, they only have 5 in protection. I'm like, oh no, they're going to blitz, and watch what's going to happen. And the pick happened. You need extra protection, because the one thing Beck does, and yes, when he gets pressured, he's not great, but the one thing is Beck can recognize the pressure. If Gunnar can recognize pressure, or they can put an emphasis on at least early on in the play, like more of a delayed where the running back initially is blocking and then he splits out as kind of like a little safety ball, they need to make sure Gunner's good against the blitz, because that pick, he recognized blitz late and then just threw it because he didn't want to take a sack.
Yeah.
So that's why that pick happened and looked awful. Every time against the blitz, Gunner was not great. If he can recognize it or they can give him protection, the offense will be fine to me. And as long as they don't turn it over early and get to a good offensive start, they'll win, because Riley Leonard's not athletic. The key for Georgia defensively is if you do not face a quarterback who can move that well, Georgia's going to go after you. And when Georgia's after a quarterback who's not overtly athletic, Georgia's defense is going to take over.
I think Paul has a comment here.
Yeah, Paul, go.
Riley Leonard's not athletic?
He's not. No, he's not. He cannot move as well as Haynes King.
Now that I don't get. He is athletic. I'll disagree with you there. That's crazy,
I don't think he
man.
can move as well as Haynes King could, or
Well,
definitely.
Why is the bar for Riley Leonard Haynes King? Why is that?
I think it's just because he saw what he did to us. I think we're comparing. Yeah, but I do think he's athletic. He ran for 750 yards, so I would. But I don't think he's as quick and as shifty. That I think our D line can get after the guy. I think we're going to hit him. I don't think he can.
Well, that's my point. I'm not saying
he's also going to escape the pocket a couple of times too, guys. He's not acting like he can't do that.
Oh, he's definitely.
I'm saying he can't. I'm not saying that he can't do that. I'm saying he's not someone who's going to beat you with speed like Milroe and these other people.
Right.
He's more of a physical runner. Like he's a bigger guy, but Georgia can get after him off the edge. Where Milroe, it's hard to contain him.
Yeah, we can't contain
Haynes King and how deceptive of a runner he is. It's harder to contain him. When they also ran Haynes King, it felt like 30 times. They're not going to do that with Riley Leonard. They're not going to run him 30 times. And you look, he's not as fast as the other guys. So I think he's an athletic quarterback. I get that. But he's not what these other guys were. He's an easier target for Georgia to bend back and rush, in my opinion, which to me favors Georgia's defense.
Lord help. Damn it. I just don't know where to.
You're cooked. I see you already giving.
I just don't know where to go with you, Ben.
You've been distracted with your damn chair for 5 minutes.
I have. This is an expensive chair, guys.
Yeah, listen to one thing Ben's been saying. So
that's like a $400 chair you got there, dude. Yeah,
it's but we've got it back going, so we're all right.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Real quick on the playoffs, I saw a tweet about this and thought this was potentially interesting. What if they would have reseeded? So you take the conference buys away. Okay. Let's talk about how you can fix this, right? Because I think and we'll talk about this for maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And I really want to get to basketball and Falcons. So not long. How can you fix this moving forward? Everybody has an idea of how you can fix this. Maybe get rid of the buys, right? And then it just goes 1 through 12. And if you're not good enough to make it to the 1 through 12, then maybe you got to talk to your AD and get some tougher teams on your schedule. Schedule the Michigan at home or Michigan away, like get some blue bloods on your schedule and get up there. There's one way, right? Also, what if they were to potentially reseed these each time? But that also takes away from the bracket, right? Because that's punishing the Cinderella teams and making them play the hardest team every round. So I don't know if that's the right way to go about it, but maybe this weekend had so much potential, guys. Like I can't tell you how much I was looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
it didn't
every game was a dud. Every game was a dud. The NFL was better Saturday than college football.
Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. But I was like, man, 3 home games up there where Ben's at, in the Northeast, there's snow on the ground.
It was cold as hell yesterday.
Yeah, I was looking forward to them, and then they just were all by the third quarter. By halftime, you're like, dude, I'm going to keep watching because I like college football. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but this is
that Ohio State game in Tennessee. They were beating the first quarter. It was over.
Yeah,
they were beating the first half.
By the third possession Ohio State had when they scored 3 times in a row was done.
Yeah.
I don't know how you fix it, but hopefully, and looking forward, right? This is what we've got. I just had it pulled out.
I saw Brett.
Let me throw you a question, Paul. Can they change anything next year? Are they locked in next year exactly like it is now?
I'm pretty sure they're locked in next year.
It's locked in. I think it's locked
in. So the conference winners get 1 through 4.
I think that is locked in next year, but I think it can change the year after.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure
it can change after that.
Yeah, and that's when it's going to 16. And from what I keep hearing on like the radio and TV and stuff, that's a done deal. But yeah, I think they have
right.
what
But
we have this
my
year.
main concern is the 1 through 4, the locked in conference.
Yeah, what we have this year is what we have next year. I'm pretty positive.
Okay.
So real quick, guys, the next 4 games: Texas, Arizona State.
That's a mismatch.
It's going to be.
Then you've got Ohio State, Oregon. That'll be a game.
That's going to be a football game. Yeah.
Penn State, Boise State.
That may be a mismatch. Penn State looked pretty good. I'll give them that.
Wait a minute. You're saying Penn State may blow out Boise?
Yes.
I think that could be a game.
Oh, I agree with Ben on this on. I think that could be a game.
That defense line for
Penn State's offense and James
Penn
Franklin
State is not good. They're not a shell. They're not good.
SMU's quarterback crapped his pants with some of those interceptions.
He
was driving the ball.
He's terrible, but I just
I'm with Andy. The SMU game doesn't do anything. Like the 38-10, it's before that. Penn State's got a good defensive line. But then you have Notre Dame, Georgia, which you guys, some of you guys think might be a blowout.
Do you think Genty is a pushover? He put up over 30 on Oregon by himself.
I don't think he's a pushover. I think Penn State's really good. So what I guess what we're getting at here, guys, is we've got 2 decent games in Notre Dame, Georgia, and Ohio State, Oregon, which just so happen to be the 1 and 2 seeds.
Right.
And then the 3 and 4 seeds, we have the 6th and 5th seed beating both of them.
Yeah.
So
and I see M. Charles wrote Penn State for the choke. Very possible. Penn State may beat the crap out. That's the James Franklin.
I'm with Weimer right here. Boise has no depth.
Oh, Penn State has depth.
They got more depth.
Do you trust? Wait a minute. And I know Eddie's answer. So Andy and Paul, do you guys trust James Franklin in a big game?
I wouldn't trust James Franklin to coach my high school team. No,
you trust James Franklin in a big game, Paul?
He does not.
Yeah, why not against Boise State?
What? That was his first big win.
That's what I will say. Because this Boise State, if he was playing,
you're high. That's ridiculous.
No.
Against Boise State, bro.
What?
If he was playing yesterday, if they were playing Ohio State or some big school, they would have got the crap beat out. But no, it's Boise. It's not SMU, and I mean,
it's Oregon.
So what? Georgia almost
Oregon's way better than Penn State and beat them.
I'm with Ben on this. You guys are nuts.
They snuck up on Oregon. No. You know,
I'm not saying Penn State won't win or win by maybe up to 2 touchdowns, but you cannot say that this is just a guaranteed blowout. Well, what are we doing?
I don't think it's a guaranteed blowout, but I just think they're going to win the game. I don't think Boise
guaranteed.
Best player in college football this year was Genty, and he's on Boise State, and the other team has James Franklin as their head coach. So they have a chance.
What's the spread on this game, Andy? Do you know?
I'm looking it up right now. 10.5 or 11 is what I'm seeing, guys. Come on.
I'd take the cover with Boise.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay.
All right. I'm not taking the spread on this, but I'm taking the cover.
Yep, I agree with you. I would too.
Yeah, this right here has it 10.5. So
yeah, you guys are smoking if you guys think this game's going to be close. That's fine though.
We'll revisit it.
Yeah, we will. We surely will.
Okay.
All right, time to move forward. UGA basketball, guys. Well, actually, real quick, because I want to. I don't want to miss out on this GHSA. Real quick, we got to give them a shout out. Okay. We'll run through that real fast.
Yeah.
Hebron Christian beat Prince Avenue Christian 56-26.
Drilled them. Yeah.
Prince Avenue was supposed to win that game. So shout out to Hebron Christian.
Yeah.
A Division II Bowden beat Brooks County 34-14. They got a pretty good tight end down there, Ben.
Oh yeah, he was on campus today.
Yeah, pretty big tight end. A Division I Toombs County beat Northeast, and we found out that was Northeast Macon 38-18. 2A Carver Columbus absolutely destroyed Burke County.
Yeah.
The Fighting Del McGee's 52-14. 3A Calhoun beat Jefferson 20-7. And then 4A, feel bad for Eddie on you, man. North Oconee beat Marist 14-7. That was a damn good game, though.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
Don't lose to Brent Rollins.
I did.
Hey, shout out to Brent Rollins' son, man. He was out there making plays.
His son made some plays. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And I met the doc in one of the corridors, and I was like just towering over him. I had no idea how tall or short he was. I had no idea.
Tiny.
Yeah, he's really, and his son is too. Now, I'm not knocking the guy. That doesn't matter.
No, Brent's a great person.
Oh, yeah. What is that? That has nothing to do with your height. I mean, my God. All I'm saying is I was shocked to see how much shorter he was than I was. And his son, by the way, number 15, I watched him play very closely, also very small, but a bullet running around out there. That kid has got some heart. It was fun
and
to
I
watch
just
him
want
play.
I want to say, because GPB did not have him as a starter, pretty pissed off for that. He started that game.
Yes, he did.
Rollins
Yes,
started
he did.
that game.
Yes, he
They
did.
did not have him as a starter when they announced the lineups. 5A, Milton beat Hughes 56-35.
Yeah.
Milton is a juggernaut, boys. CJ Wiley and Ethan Barber coming to Georgia.
Barber.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's some dudes. That's some dudes right there.
And then shout out to those Grayson Rams knocking off the Carrollton Trojans 38-24.
Who's the
Tyler
quarterback?
Atkinson special.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was my note here. Tyler Atkinson, Kirby, you need to do everything you can to get this guy at Georgia.
trust
That
me,
guy
he's
has got
number one.
one more year. My goodness, that's the best player I watched all. Well, it wasn't a weekend, but every game, Tyler Atkins is the best player.
He's been
in
visiting Georgia since the 7th grade.
He is
that's
unbelievable.
number one priority.
He is he's top.
Oh my God, he
yeah,
looked
he's
like
player of the
Roquan
state.
Smith. He looked like
Yeah.
Roquan Smith.
He's
That's-
the best player in the state.
that's
I
high
don't even
praise.
think there's a conversation for anybody else being number one. In
And
the
shout out
state.
to those young coaches for Grayson. The head coach, 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive coordinator is married to a girl I went to high school with, and he won assistant coach of the year across the state of Georgia. They played together, 30 years old, and he just led a team to
State championship.
It amazes me how good Grayson of an athletic school is, because Jacob Wilkins is there, and the number 2 basketball recruit in the country next year is also at Grayson. Like, that is a powerhouse high school.
Yeah, it is.
They got some.
They currently have him as the number 1 ranked player in the state and the number 11 in the country on Rivals. So that's big.
Who? Tyler Atkinson.
Tyler Atkinson.
Atkinson.
He's awesome.
He's a grown man. That dude looks like he looks different.
So since our last show, guys, Georgia basketball beat Buffalo 100-49. It lofted them up to the 21st spot in the net rankings. And then just today, they beat Charleston Southern 81-65 and are now 11-1. Leading scorer today, old Deshane Montgomery. Only his second game with the Dogs, dropped 22. Asa Newell is all over the floor. Georgia's got one more game before they open up SEC play. That's a week from today. Next Sunday, they play South Carolina State. Ben, floor is yours, my friend. You're a basketball junkie. And I've been telling these folks, jump on the train with me, because this is a fun team to watch.
Oh, I told your buddy Andy to jump on the train. I texted him during the Buffalo game.
He did.
I said,
He did.
Andy, have you watched this team? And he goes, no, you were like driving some random fucking place. I'm sorry for that. But what's it called? I remember I was texting Andy, and that team this year to me is so deep. Like that's my number one takeaway. It's a deep team, and I think the number one priority. I said this before about Mike White. I had one big critic when I would talk to people on the hoops board, is he did not recruit high school bigs, and then this year he recruited them, and look at how good they are. This year he said, I got to get Somto late, and by the way, I think even if the NBA or the portal comes calling, I believe NIL, they're going to up and try to keep him next year.
Yeah.
This is different than Kirby. Georgia basketball is spending big on NIL and willing to. So that's not a concern. But this year, they can run their teams through their bigs. Their bigs will be towards the best in the SEC, who I think as of like last week was 50-4 in the month of December, the SEC was. And they've owned the Big Ten. They've owned the ACC. I mean, the SEC this year is the best I've ever seen a basketball conference, ever. And to me, their bigs, Georgia's, are towards the top of the conference. And usually they're always at the bottom. So this year, when you can run through Somto Cyril and Ace Newell block shots, and I think the underrated player is Justin Abson. I watched today.
Abson's been playing really well.
He was blocking shots and rebounding. He averaged like 3 blocks per game last year. I think he was at Wichita State or Appalachian State. I think it was Appalachian State. And I remember he was like the defensive player of the year in his conference, and now he's a role player for Georgia. And that's how good their bigs are. And then to me, Montgomery was the guy. So me and Brent Rollins, speaking of him, would talk about basketball a lot. And he was always a fan of Blue Kane. I told him, I said, listen, Blue Kane is not going to be a starter for Georgia long, or he's going to have shorter minutes as the year goes along because of Montgomery. Montgomery has more length, is the most athletic guard by far. He was a freshman of the year in the country last year in his conference. And this guy is just, you look at him, he tied for the lead in scoring his first game and then led in the second. He can shoot. He's athletic, driving to the hole, and his defense, they were up by like 40 against Buffalo, and he's just hounding defenders just at midcourt and just getting steals. I'm like, this guy is incredible. So when I look at this team, they're a tournament team. I'll just say really quickly, there's 3 keys for them. Number one, Asa Newell developing that three-point shot because he can shoot out of high school. He just needs to get it more consistently. Today it was really good. If he gets that more consistently, the spacing will be better. I want Somto. He's electric dunking the ball. I always fear he's going to break the rim, but he needs to be a little bit better in the post on offense outside of just dunking on people front up. Like he needs to be a little bit more of a center where you throw to him, will back a guy down and go up and get his. And then third to me is Silas Demery with the turnovers. That's one thing you got to work at. Demery turns over the ball a bit too much. And I know his father watches sometimes. He's a terrific player, but just the turnovers need to be cut down, because if they can do that, this team can make a deep run. And I will make a bold prediction. I think they beat Auburn in a few weeks at home, who's the best team in the country right now. I think they could do it at home.
Yeah, we'll see. Ben, I'll go back to this. So I went to 2 games last year. One of the games I went to was against South Carolina, and you'll remember this. I don't remember who their 2 bigs were underneath, but they destroyed us underneath. And I said, that is what Georgia is missing, because those 2 guys just dominated the paint, and we didn't have that counteracting underneath. We do this year.
Yes.
We can beat a team. You remember those guys from South Carolina? I can't remember their names, but they got in the tournament and they were really, really strong underneath. We've got that finally. We've got a big man presence, and it's not just one guy. It's several guys that can rotate in. That's the difference to me, is the presence inside.
Well, Ben, you said Asa Newell needs to get his 3-point percentage up. He's currently at 21.7. If he finishes at 30, is that high enough for you, or do you think it needs to be higher than that?
Slightly higher than that. He was at 44% at Montverde, which is the number 1 high school in the country, and in the 40 percentile is really good for threes. The thing is they want to use him a little bit more in the big to have the physicality down low, so he doesn't get consistent enough shots. Like today, he was, I think, 2 for 3 from 3. He had another game a few weeks ago, like a week ago, where he was 2 for 3 from 3. So he's getting it slowly, but to me, because of the type of player he is and how White wants to use him, he's not going to get as many of those shots. But
he's only shot 23 this year. Yeah, he's only tried 23, so that's not bad. Yeah, I mean,
that's the main thing. But to me, the spacing on the floor will allow to the guards, or you can have more cuts inside to have more easy buckets in the lane. That's where I think the spacing would improve if you have a 6'10" presence outside that some of these teams have. But the reason I said, I think Garrett said, oh, there's no way Georgia beats Auburn. No, Georgia will get killed by Auburn on the road. Bruce Pearl is terrible in Stegman. Mike White's already upset him twice, I believe, at home. Auburn struggles at Georgia. And playing on the road in college basketball is tough. Like, they'll probably lose to Tennessee by like 10 points on the road. Auburn struggles at Georgia. And to me, they have the bigs to match with Broome to limit him enough. I think Georgia, that game's already sold out. Like, they put tickets up for that thing like a week ago. It's sold out for Georgia Auburn. So that place is going to be
That's the 5th game in the conference, right? We played.
It's one of the first 5.
Yeah.
The first one's Ole Miss. I know Ole Miss.
They have Ole Miss, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Tennessee, then Auburn.
And then Auburn. That's right. That's right.
M. Charles brings up a good point, guys, and maybe plays a little devil advocate in this situation. He says conference play will tell if UJ is legit in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm not jumping all on the train, because I want to see what they do against these big guys. That's where I'm at.
But they've already had a couple big guys. They've played a couple big time wins or big time games. They had one big win against. They went 1-1 in that tournament. Where was it? Out in Hawaii.
They played well against Marquette too. I mean,
Marquette's a top 5 team.
Yeah, and they played well against them.
And they were within 3 points with 3 minutes.
That's right.
3 minutes left.
That's right.
I want to say that this isn't fool's gold. Is what I'm getting at. Yeah. This isn't fool's gold of what we've seen. I don't believe it to be, but like M. Charles said, you do have to win probably half of your games in the SEC to get to 20 wins, right, Eddie? I think you did the math on that. They've got to go 9-9 after this or something to get over 20 wins, and 20 wins normally is kind of the threshold.
Well, they should be 12-1, so that's 21. Right.
Yeah. So 21. You go 500. You're for sure in the tournament in the SEC. In the NCAA after going that in the SEC. So, shout out to them though. They need to get more talk. They need to get I'm not talking about just from us. I'm talking about from the Atlanta radio stations. Yeah. They need to start covering this team. It's a decent team. It's a really good team. And they're fun to watch. I told you guys last week, I have more fun watching the Georgia basketball team than the football team.
It is. And you know what? I think the glue to the team is Tyron Lawrence. He's from Georgia. He's experienced in the SEC playing at Vanderbilt. He would kill Georgia when he was at Vanderbilt all the time.
Yeah,
he would drive in the lane to kill it. This year, I told a person who used to call in with me and Paul Penhurst that to me, he's just playing because I feel like he just loves playing at Georgia. Now it's not about the NBA. Now it's about winning for Georgia. I believe Montgomery and LeFew are both Georgia kids. Asa Newell grew up in Athens. There's a lot of kids on this team that are Georgia guys who grew up Georgia fans vocally. And I think that's the thing where when Eddie talked earlier about Carson Beck, he grew up a Florida fan. I'm not saying that's a thing there, but when Nick Chubb and Roquan and those guys were at Georgia, they wanted to win for the state and because they grew up loving this school. So when you think about that, this basketball team has a bit of that, and that's what
they could be legends, right? Because we've done nothing for years in basketball, right? So.
Garrett Key says they seem to have really good chemistry, unlike this show where it sucked. The Atlanta Falcons won 34-7, mainly on the defensive side of the ball. Had 2 pick sixes, guys, 3 sacks, fumble recovery, and the Giants, as it says in the show notes here, suck. Penix's first start, though, guys, 18 of 27, 202, 2 picks. He threw 2 picks. Okay?
1 pick. He threw 1 pick.
He threw 1.
Kyle Pitts needs to be cut right now. He's awful. He's awful.
The Falcons, though, with the way that everything played out this Sunday, Garrett Key's been helping us out with this and watching in his undies over there, saying Georgia, the Atlanta Falcons, still have a chance to control their own destiny.
No, they don't. That's wrong.
It's wrong, Eddie.
It's wrong. If they went out, they have to have other things happen. If they went out, what do they have? 2 games left? If they go 2-0, the Bucks have to lose a game, or Washington has to lose. Well, they'll lose to us if we go 2-0. Washington also has to lose to Dallas for us to get the wild card. So it is not controlling your own destiny. I've done it.
The Bucks play the Panthers and Cowboys.
What's that?
The Bucks play the Panthers and Cowboys. So
they play Dallas tonight. Yeah.
So you need the Cowboys to win tonight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You need the Cowboys to win tonight or beat Washington. If we beat Washington next week, they play Dallas the next week. If Washington loses, then we're in as a wild card. So
Bob says Dallas could beat Tampa tonight. I love Bob's smile too, by the way. Bob's always friend of the show over on Facebook.
Well, says, we're glossing over the elephant in the room. I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now. This was my guy, Michael Penix. Looked like an NFL quarterback today. I don't want to hear that it's the New York Giants and they suck. He looked poised. He has a hose for an arm. Paul, did you see Did you see any bad plays out of him? He's controlling the offense, telling people where they need to be. There were no bad plays that I saw. He is a damn good quarterback, and he's going to be a stud for this football team.
I thought he looked good, but I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame quite yet. I would give it a.
Did I say Hall of Fame? Did that come out of my mouth?
No, I'm just saying.
I will say this: the Giants are terrible, but Michael
terrible.
Play well. He made some NFL throws today. He looked poised.
But
that is true, and I think they
hang on.
But I will say also the Giants are. I watched.
Let's just remember at the beginning of the year, Kirk Cousins was looking great, and Eddie, you were. This is not your granddad's Falcons. Kirk Cousins looks like he's back in the. He's this that, and then all of a sudden
he fell off a ledge.
I'm just saying.
Do you see Michael Penix's arm falling off a ledge? Because I don't.
I don't think his arm's going to fall off. No,
well,
but
that's what we saw with Kirk Cousins.
I'm just saying, I just don't want to get too high because then we're going to be let down. But I will say this though: if the Cowboys do somehow win tonight, then the Falcons would be tied with the Bucks for the division. So
they would have the tiebreaker.
They would have the tiebreaker, exactly. So they could
still win out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could do it. So,
but the larger issue here is the thing with Penix. Even if he's a good quarterback, you just with Kirk Cousins' contract, you just hamstrung yourself. That's the big issue also here. Even if Penix is good, Falcons still have an issue with this damn contract.
Well, of course, we know that. They're terrible at making decisions. We know that, but maybe they got this one right with Michael Penix. And I said all along in the offseason, I wanted this guy. I said that because he's a good quarterback, and he's gonna and look around the league. Okay, everybody was high on Caleb Williams. How's that working out? Does he look like Michael? Nasty. Has he looked like Michael Penix at all? No.
He's the worst of the 5 rookies. So
I know he's played one game, Paul, but you can't tell me you're not just a little bit excited about what you saw today. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm with Eddie. You cannot trust that. I do not trust Raheem Morris because
God no.
Even when Kirk Cousins played, What's the one thing Kirk Cousins is good with? Play action. He had one play action touchdown. They're running out of the pistol with Kirk Cousins. Why are you running out of the pistol with Kirk Cousins? He's not run out of the pistol. He's a play action quarterback, and you have a top 5 running back. Run and play action off of it. They don't do that, which is so dumb. It's built for the Falcons. They don't even do it.
I know we're up against it. Paul, go ahead. Crap on everything I said. Go ahead.
So Eddie's made a point about Arthur Blank. I thought about this for a second. Whenever your owner's talked about, it's always bad. So whenever people know your owner, like I have a quick question. Do any of you know the name of the Packers or the Ravens owner? Nope. And that's a good thing. You do not want to know. Everyone knows who Jerry Jones is, all for the bad reasons. Everyone knew Dan Snyder. They're Washington. Woody Johnson's the Jets owner. The Jets are a laughing stock. Terrible. You do not want to know owners' names.
Raiders owner. We knew who he was, right?
You always see his bizarre haircut every time up in the box, and you're always like, oh, there's the Raiders. They're about to lose. Because it's those owners are, when you know the owner's name, it's not a good thing. And you look at it, Arthur Blank-led franchise, you just can't trust it. So I do agree with Eddie on that.
Good. Thank you. Now go ahead, Paul. Tell me why Penix is going to suck. He's going to be out of the league next year this time.
It's not that. I think you've anointed him a little bit too fast. Is all
I said he looked good today. That's all I said. And he's going to be a stud. Did I say? Andy said I said Hall of Fame.
I didn't. I was being facetious about Hall of Fame, but you were insinuating. You were insinuating he's leading us to the promised land. Is all I'm saying.
No, I did not.
You didn't.
I said I'm excited about what I saw today, and he is a stud. Did he not look good today? Did he not? All right, y'all make it sound like it's so easy as an NFL quarterback to get all the plays right and just make it look smooth. He did that from snap one. I know it's just ridiculous. I mean, give me another damn present. I
think he's the next Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to win 4 Super Bowls.
See, there you go. I mean, I did not say that. God, I hate this podcast. I really do.
Eddie,
if Gary all of a sudden called in, Paul's face would be 8 times worse. Right?
Ben, we're gonna let you go, my brother. We're gonna shut the show out. We appreciate you joining us tonight, though, Ben.
Thanks,
Thank you, Benny.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Bye. Oh man.
They said take your gift back, Eddie.
Super Bowl champions, baby.
Oh God.
Paul, you got big plans for the Christmas?
What are y'all's plans? Let's do that real quick.
Yeah. We'll go through them real quick, and we'll get out of here. We go to the in-laws on Christmas Eve. Eat a nice prime rib. Eddie's camera's froze on the worst pop. Okay, there it goes. And eat a prime rib.
Where are your in-laws? Where are your in-laws?
Just right down the road here in the city. So then we go over there for Christmas morning, and then we have my family over to my house on Christmas Day. So that's the plan here.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be at my family's house. All my family, my sister and her kids and husband, they all come over. So we'll be at my parents' house, and I don't have in-laws, so I'm good to go. Farmersonly.com. Yes.
In Royston. Nice.
What you got to do?
We're going to have the 3 boys here and a couple girlfriends. So that'll be nice for Christmas morning. And then we'll head up to Kelly's mom's. Toccoa. Right. Past you, Andy. And we'll do that for one night and then come home. So
any red beans and rice this week?
Actually, it's not on the docket.
Hate to see it. All right, guys, we appreciate you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for riding with us throughout the entire year. It's been a tremendous opportunity and blast to have you guys here every Sunday night. We've changed names a couple of times. We are stuck with the Peach State Power Hour now. We've had some sponsors come and help us out, but before we get out of here, we would like to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you guys that watch us and make this show so much fun. I could literally go through every name that we see every Sunday, and you guys make this really just fun for us. This is fun. This is truly fun for me Sunday nights to get here, and for Andy and Eddie to join me every Sunday. It means a ton to me. So we appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas. Any final words from you two knuckleheads?
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate. Have a good time.
And I'll reiterate that it's been a pleasure getting to know you two much better on the podcast, text, otherwise. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate what you guys bring to the show. Paul occasionally, Andy most of the time. So it's a lot of fun doing this. I agree with you, Paul. And thank you guys so much for listening, watching, commenting, sponsoring, all that stuff. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep. We'll see you guys in 2025 after the Dogs beat up on Notre Dame.
That's right. Go Dogs.